All right. Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our session today. I am going to share with you a few different ways that we can integrate to GP and also talk about maybe some of the pros and cons for each of them. So I'm going to share with you and talk about really what's native to the Dynamics GP platform. We're going to talk about other options that we can use to integrate into GP. And then we are going to be able to see really a truly integrated GP platform with the use of SmartConnect. Now, when we talk about integrating, it's really more than just moving your data. Now, maybe you have tasks that you're doing on a repetitive basis. Maybe you're doing duplicate data entry. So really integrating your data is going to help streamline your workflow and really create efficiencies within your day-to-day processes. Let's take a look at some of the different options that we can use to integrate into GP. So I'm going to start out with the first two options here, which are called eConnect and web services. So both of these options are native to GP. So when we talk about eConnect, really what eConnect contains is a set of SQL stored procedures and contains all of that business logic, which is part of each of those GP company databases. So when we talk about eConnect as well, eConnect doesn't have the ability to integrate into all of those different modules within GP. So therefore, it creates many limitations in terms of what data that you're going to have access to be able to grab at or push data into when you're talking about GP. So SmartConnect itself, which is a tool that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later on, and we're going to see working live in action, really gives us that friendly interface, which gives us better reporting, and also just the ability to really easily manage those integrations without having to work directly with eConnect. Now, web services, that again is native to GP. The web services is really not a way that we would recommend integrating to the Dynamics GP platform. It's very slow, and it doesn't expose all of those nodes that you would otherwise get with just your standard eConnect. So again, it's very limited. And with the web services portion, there isn't that ongoing development. So really it is what it is, and there's no enhancements that will be made to the web services portion. Of course, custom coding is always an option. However, right when we deal with custom coding, you're dealing with all of those additional developer costs. So therefore, in terms of making it, something that's cost effective, custom coding to get those integrations done really isn't a great option. So also, when you talk about custom coding, think about your upgrades, think about your maintenance. So when it comes time to upgrading and that maintenance, it's really, again, not very efficient. You're going to need that developer, therefore all of those additional costs involved. So it's really hard to standardize your integrations across all of your platforms when you're doing that custom coding. Now, maybe you guys have heard of Integration Manager. I know Integration Manager has been out there for quite some time. And again, Integration Manager is developed, it's something you purchase outside of the Dynamics GP platform, but it was developed by Microsoft. And with that, you can't schedule your integrations. So there's a lot of manual processes that you have to initiate. So you don't have that real-time processes. You don't have triggers that you can set up. So it's kind of working on the forefront, whereas SmartConnect is working on the back end of things, and it's happening without you even having that manual interaction with it. Again, Integration Manager, there is no ongoing development with it, so it is what it is. And again, it only works with GP. So if you have other platforms that you're wanting to integrate, you're not going to have that option. And then we have SmartConnect. So SmartConnect was developed by E1 Solutions, and it really gives you guys a friendly interface where you're not going to need that developer. So it really gives you that platform that's less technical and very easy to manage. So someone that knows nothing about coding, who knows nothing about integrations, really has that ability to manage and implement those integrations. With SmartConnect, you can do bi-directional integrations. And again, it works with many different platforms and applications. We all know the trend nowadays is, right, you probably got a few different platforms or applications that you're working with. Maybe some of them are cloud-based, which is fantastic. You're going to have that ability to be able to grab at that data or push data to those applications with the use of SmartConnect. SmartConnect also allows you to get your project to market quicker. So there's templates that are available that are really going to get you off your feet, hit that ground running, and get those projects to market. All right, now, again, SmartConnect was developed and created by E1 Solutions, and it's really, as you can see, there's some of the different platforms that we work with, but I'm going to show you this illustration. And the reason I'm showing you this illustration is it gives us a great summary in terms of how unique and powerful SmartConnect truly is. So I'm going to show you guys SmartConnect working in action. We're going to be able to see just a really truly integrated Dynamics GP platform. So I'm excited to show you that. But if we take a look at this illustration here, another thing that SmartConnect will allow us to do is it's going to allow us to take data from many different data sources to many different destinations where you can apply a schedule or a condition to the integration. And again, the key thing is you don't have to write that coding, so you can cut out that cost and really streamline your integration. So taking a look at that very top section here, we're talking about some of our data sources. So we've got things such as like your ODBC connection, Excel, text files. We're huge in the GP space. We also work with other ERPs like NAV or your Business Central, Dynamics 365. Maybe you're using CRM or a Salesforce.com. Even Extender is one that we see often. So Extender allows you to customize your GP by adding windows without needing a developer. So that's another tool we developed here at E1 Solutions, where you're going to be able to really capture any data sitting outside of GP. And you can use Extender as a data source or a destination with the use of SmartConnect. And then I would say the biggest one we're seeing today is going to be those third-party web services. And that's where you can connect to all of those different web service applications that are out there in the cloud and have access to grab at that data. Now, once you have your data source, we're going to need to tell that data, hey, where do I go, right? So if we take a look at the very bottom section, we're looking at some of the similar sources here. Again, GP, CRM, or your Salesforce.com. A more common one might be a direct custom SQL Server application. Again, maybe it's just Excel or a text file. And a big one we are seeing would be those third-party web services where not only are we going to be able to grab at that data, but we're also going to be able to send data to those applications as well. So we have our data source, right? We have our destination. There might be times where we have to transform that data a little bit. And that can be done with something such as just a simple calculated field. And I'll show you here, hopefully in a little bit later on here, how easy it is to create that. I don't know if we have any developers here on the line, but if we do, you certainly can still deliver your C# or your VB.NET scripting. We do have just a ton of transformations that are built into the tool, and that's just to make it work for your specific business needs. Now that last section here, this is what we call triggers. And for this, you can kind of think of this as when do you want your integrations to run? Now, maybe you want to hit a button and manually run them. Probably not, right? We kind of talked a little bit about Integration Manager. And with that, you don't have the ability to schedule it, and it does require all that manual interaction. So with SmartConnect, we do have a scheduler that's built right into the tool that's going to help you manage and schedule out those integrations. Now, maybe you just want to keep track of the changes. And as you track the changes, you schedule that to run. Or maybe this is a process and it needs to be real time and it's super critical to your business. We can actually take that data and run it through in real time as well. So you can really mix and match any of the data connections. So you can draw a line from any of the data sources at the top to any of those destinations there at the bottom. All right, now let's go ahead and see that truly integrated Dynamics platform. I'm excited to show you. I am going to need your help and participation. So if I could help all of you, go ahead and go to demo.e1solutions.com. And again, it's demo.e1solutions.com. And you're going to see just a simple web form that has your first and last name. So go ahead and fill out your first and last name and your email address. And I will go ahead and do this with you as well. So it's going to look like this. I did include it in the chat if you wanted to just click on that link in the chat as well. So I will go ahead and do this with you. And essentially what you can think of is that you're registering to attend a party. And this is a party that E1 is hosting. And what I'm going to show you now is with this little bit of registration information that we're entering is SmartConnect is going to be able to generate the appropriate data in both GP and CRM as a bi-directional integration. All right, so hopefully all of you have been able to go ahead and get that submitted. As you're kind of finishing that up, I'm going to go ahead and hop over here into our GP image and get this ready to go. All right, so let's pull up GP here. So now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at GP, and I'm going to go up to the upper left-hand corner under the main menu, and I'm going to pull up Smart View. Now, I know a lot of you are probably asking, why is she pulling up Smart View? Well, Smart View is an alternative or a replacement to your Smart List. So if you're a Smart List user, check out Smart View. It's a lot quicker. You've got grouping, subgrouping. You're really able to query your data. And then, of course, you can access any of these lists outside of GP and save GP licenses. So I do give a session every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time and would love to have you join. All right, I'm going to pull up today's order. So the other reason why I'm going into Smart View is when I pull up today's orders, I'm going to be able to see all of you who registered to attend this party. Now, the one thing I forgot to tell you guys is we're actually charging a fee. So here's all of the invoices that were created on the back end with the use of SmartConnect. So I'm going to just go ahead and double click here on Michael. So when I double click on this invoice, it's going to pull this transaction window up to screen. And I'm going to just use this as an easy way to access Michael's customer card. Now, I'm going to go ahead and enter an address here for Michael. So I'm going to do 123 456 789, and I am going to put you in lovely Fargo, North Dakota. I know, I apologize already in advance. So I'm going to save this address here in GP. So let's close out of here. Let's close out of this invoice. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to CRM. And when I hop over to CRM and pull up CRM, what we're looking at is we're looking at this marketing list. Now this marketing list, again, is going to show all of you who registered to attend the party. Now the first and last name that we're seeing represents the actual account name. Now maybe I need to contact all of you to let you know what food I'm going to serve at this party, right? Or you're probably going to need to know where or when, where you need to go to attend this party. Or you can look at it in terms of business. Maybe you need to contact people in terms of some type of marketing campaign. So now when I double click on Michael's account, remember the first and last name represents the account. I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper here. And when I do, remember that address that I entered in GP? we're now seeing here in CRM. Now that was pretty cool, right? Okay, well, this is a bi-directional integration. So let's just go ahead and enter a phone number here in CRM. So let's just do 888-867-5309. Do you guys know whose number that is? Jenny. Okay, I will stop singing, I promise. So let's save this phone number here in CRM. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop back over to GP. And again, I'm just gonna use Smart View because it's an easy way for me to access that customer card. And when I click refresh, let's go back into Michael's customer card here. And when I do that, remember we entered the phone number in CRM. Oh, we're not quite seeing that phone number yet. And that's the brilliance of SmartConnect is you're able to make changes. So let's say, hey, you know, that schedule that we have set up for that specific map to run isn't working and we want it to run, let's say, every 2 minutes instead of every 5 minutes. You have that power and control on being able to make those changes. So let's go ahead and pull up that customer card now. See that phone number, 888-867-5309. We are now seeing here in GP. So when you talk about duplicate data entry, you don't need to do that anymore. With the use of SmartConnect, you're going to be able to automate processes that you're doing on a repetitive basis. You're going to be able to eliminate that duplicate data entry. All right, now the next feature that I'm going to show you of SmartConnect is one of my favorites, and this is what we call the SmartConnect add-in for Excel. This is something you get with the purchase of SmartConnect, and this is an Excel refreshable report. And this was actually created with Smart List Builder, which is another tool by E1, but it doesn't have to be created with Smart List Builder, but that's just what we use today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move up to the top under the Data tab, and I'm gonna click on Refresh All. What this is doing is this is pulling in all of that live data from GP. Let's say that I'm wanting to make some changes to these invoices, but I really don't want to go into GP to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay for everybody to attend this party, and it's going to be one heck of a party. So I'm going to pay $25,000. Now, the example that I'm showing you today is invoices, but it doesn't have to be invoices. Maybe you're doing inventory items or purchase orders. The example I'm using today is just for invoices. But I'm going to move up to the top middle of the screen under the E1 Solutions tab, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the Run Map. And when I do that, what's happening is SmartConnect is taking and pushing all of these changes to those unposted invoices in GP. So let's just go ahead and hop back to GP. And if I refresh this, now what we're seeing is, see, I have the invoice of $25,000 and everybody else has a $0 invoice. So again, it's very powerful in terms of making those changes across big data. All right, since we're in Excel, there's one other thing that I want to show you. I did briefly mention the templates, which these templates really help you get your project off to a great start, get your project to market very quick. So the one that I'm going to show you is just a monthly journal entry template. I'm going to go ahead and submit this. It's saying it's already been submitted, which we're okay with that. It's a monthly entry. And now it's saying our debits and credits do not match, which if we look, they do not tie out. We do have some quality control validations that are built into the tool, and that's just to make sure that the data that you're pushing into GP is good, valid data. If I change the account number, it changes the account name, and vice versa. If I change the account number, it's going to change our account name, it's going to change the account number. If you're working with more than one currency, you can define that. Also, if you're working with more than one company, you can define that as well. Since I'm picking on Michael, let's go ahead and switch the source to Michael. I'm going to add in my 2 cents. That way we tie out. Let's resubmit this. And now we should get a successful notification, which we did. Let's just hop it over into GP. And I'm going to pull up the most recent journal entry. And when I do that, what we're seeing is we're now seeing, see the source document of Michael, And if I expand this, we're seeing every one of those journal entries are now here in GP. Now, if you think about it from an accountant's perspective, that's pretty magical. And again, this is just one of many templates that we have available. So what I'm going to do now is I want to show you really what's behind the curtain, what's behind this magic, what's powering all of this. So when I pull up SmartConnect here, I'm going to just go ahead and highlight one of the maps based off of the illustration that I showed you today. And I'm just going to give you a high-level overview of in terms of how easy it is to work with SmartConnect. So with SmartConnect, if I pull up the map setup, you've got your map, your source and destination tab. So this is where you're going to be able to specify your data source. In this example, we're working with an ODBC connection, and we're also working with GP. And we are doing a bulk data load. So we're pulling in all of those records. You can do, again, changes only or even real time. And then in terms of our destination, in this example, we're working with GP. So because we've selected GP, we're getting all of the business objects that are associated with GP. But again, you have all those other options that we talked about, whether it's your CRM, Salesforce, web services, and so forth. Here's where if you are using Extender, you can easily add in any of those Extender objects. And then also if you're working with more than one company, you can define which company you want this associated with. Let's go ahead and just look at the actual SmartConnect mapping a little bit. So this is where, if we look on the left, is our source. So depending upon what you've selected in the setup as your source, you're going to get all of the fields on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side is our destination. So depending upon what you've selected as your destination, which we're working with GP in this example, you're going to get all of those fields associated with GP. So I'm going to just show you how quickly and easy it is to actually map out a field. So if we map out this customer number on the left-hand side and we map it over to our statement name on the right-hand side, I can literally drag and drop this over. SmartConnect is taking care and handling everything else on the back end. And then in terms of if you don't want to drag and drop, you can also use a drop-down box as well. All right, let's go ahead and cancel out of here. And let's move back to the actual map setup. So the options tab, this is where if you are wanting to deliver your C# or VB.NET scripting or your log errors, you can take care of that here. Your tasks tab is really something that you can set up to happen either before or after the success or failure of your map. So you can do things such as copy, move, delete files. You can run your SQL commands or scripting right here from the tasks tab. Maybe you're managing those integrations and you want to receive notice via inbox. If there are any issues or errors, you're going to be able to set that up as well. And then this is our schedule tab. For the schedule tab, you can really control when you want your integrations to run. So maybe you want to do it daily, weekly, monthly. Maybe you want to do it only every third day. Or you know what? I want this to run only once an hour during business hours. So you're going to really have that control on when you want your integrations to run. All right, now I know I've done a lot of talking here. I'm going to go ahead and hop right back over here to our PowerPoint a little bit and talk about what you get when you purchase SmartConnect. So you're going to get the full SmartConnect data integration, that add-in for Excel. You get 4 instances of the tool. So maybe you have a dev environment, live environment, test. You can use it in all of those environments without additional cost. You get all of those connectors that we talked about with that illustration, and it is a full site license with unlimited users, as well as access to all of the templates. I only showed you one of many templates that are available. And we do have many training options, so check out our website. We'd love to have you learn a little bit more about SmartConnect. So there's quite a few different options that are available. We do also have a 30-day free trial. So if you guys are wanting to kind of get a feel for the tool, see if it's something that's going to provide that benefit, by all means, reach out to us, e1solutions.com/SmartConnect. Our website is a great resource. Other than that, I would like to go ahead and, I know we're a couple minutes over, but I would like to open it up for questions. So if you want to submit them via the questions pane in the bottom right-hand corner, or if you want me to unmute you, go ahead and raise your hand. And if you've entered an audio pin, I can go ahead and unmute you. But I do want to go ahead and If you want to if you have any questions, I'd love to kind of answer any of those questions. And so I'm going to pass the floor over to you guys. Go ahead and fire away. All right, a question that I'm getting asked is, does SmartConnect work with Concur? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So Concur is an expense tracking platform or application. It is a cloud-based application, and we've actually done quite a few different projects with SmartConnect and Concur. So that's just one of many. So maybe it's Expensify, or maybe you're using a time tracking application, or there's a ton of different applications out there. So whether it's cloud-based or whether maybe it's a SQL-based platform you're working with, the nice thing is you can standardize your integrations across the board with everything with the use of SmartConnect. So SmartConnect is going to be that one tool, even as you're making changes, which we all know happen, right? That's going to be the one tool that you're going to be able to keep in your tool belt. Great question. Thank you. All right. Was there any other questions that I can help out with? If not, I mean, there's my contact information, or the sales information, email address here for E1 Solutions. We'd love to hear from all of you. If you have like a specific scenario that you wanted to talk about, please reach out, let me know, and we can certainly go ahead and talk a little bit more in detail in regards to that as well. I will go ahead and I will email all of you a copy of the slide, and then that way, if you do want to reach out further, you have an easy way to do that. So thank you everybody again for learning a little bit about the different options behind integrating to your Dynamics GP platform, and for taking a look and seeing SmartConnect working live in action. So again, thanks everybody. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hear from all of you soon. All right, bye for now, everyone.